What's up, Taurus? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a new moon tarot reading for the new moon coming up on May 7th. This is actually going to be a new moon in Taurus at 18 degrees Taurus. It's going to be at 11:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be in the fourth mansion of the moon. I will put a picture of it up. You can read about it. It's about working and overcoming obstacles. It's not good for marriage or love particularly. The astrology has lots and lots going on in Taurus and in Aries, mostly. Taurus specifically. If you are Taurus ascendant, you're talking your first or your 12th house. And if you have anything, if you're watching this as a sun or a moon Taurus, it's going to affect you too because you have natal planets in the sign of Taurus, which means there's probably conjunctions going on with the sun, the moon, or Venus, or Uranus, or Jupiter. They're all conjunct each other in like a stellium in Taurus right now. So money may be on the mind. Aesthetically pleasing things, sensual pleasures may be on the mind. If it is your first house, you may be thinking of new ways to make money. You may be wanting to do something like landscaping, making things prettier. Any type of artistic expression. You may decide you want to find ways to make new money, like maybe doing like a garage sale or yard sale, something like that. There's this card right here. It says surrender to the divine. It can be very hard to do, to surrender, especially when we think we're in control. It's hard to release control, especially if you've ever lost it in your life. It's very hard to ever want to release it again. With so much in Taurus, and there's a lot in Aries as well. Mercury's in Aries. That would probably fall in your 12th or 11th house. So I would be careful of harsh communication right now. From if it's 11th house for you, it'd be like other people that's doing it around you. Or you may be doing it in a group setting. But Chiron's also touching that Mercury. So we need to be careful about like communication that can wound. Like really angry. And the only reason I say that is because Mars is in Aries and it's touching Pluto. And then when those two touch, that's anger and rage touching. Even if it's in a sextile, it doesn't matter. Those two planets are both malefic, and like it's still going to be, it could be like angry communication. People around you may see people are being a lot more snappy, more angry, more combative, more adversarial, just in nature. Like even just in their communication, you may see lots of people like that around. Especially if it's your 11th house is being affected. If it's your 12th house, you may find that you have a secret enemy you didn't know about. And through this communication, you find out someone's true feelings. You're like, wow, I didn't know that person really thought that way about me or anything like that, right? It could be those types of things. But the focus right now is mostly going to be heavily on like money and probably new ways to make it, or like competing in that aspect of things. Or there could be like a sensual sexual energy going on. Because Taurus is sensuality and Venus is there. And then you get Mars, which can be sex. And both those signs are opposite. Venus and Mars both represent sex to an extent and relationships to an extent. If you're someone that likes women, like a man or even a woman that likes women, you're going to want to look at Venus in your chart to find out like what kind of women you're going to be with, or how that's going to manifest for you, like sexually. For individuals that like men, like women, or men that like men, you're going to want to look at Mars, because Mars would represent like a man or masculine sexuality. So you would look at that in the chart. So with those two planets both in play, and them being in the sign of the rulership, both of them, sensuality or sexuality could be on the mind as well, and aggressive feelings too. And with Pluto touching it could be exemplified. Mainly he's touching Mars, but Venus is in a stellium with the Sun, the Moon, Uranus, Jupiter, all together there in Taurus. So money matters could definitely be on the mind. Sensuality could definitely be on the mind. Beauty can definitely be on the mind. That's why I say things like art, like landscaping, even doing that to your home, right? Having a yard sale, cleaning up your home, and also making money. All kinds of things. Things that are materially driven in general will be heavily focused on right now, and probably in an aggressive and competitive way. Or at least it'll be very motivated. That's on the bottom. Some of you might be dealing with a water sign. Now this says surrender to the divine. So this is screaming release control. Tauruses like to be in control. All earth signs do. It's just what it is. They like to feel like they have a good beat on things, like exactly how they're working, and they don't want them to change. That's the aspect of control, right? In the recent past, you were worried about something. So if you're worried about something, or you've been having bad dreams, or you've been having anxiety or depression, it's saying give it to God. Straight up. Meditate, pray, give it to God. God will help you through this. The moon, something unknown or confusing. But notice that I do all of my tarot readings based on the movement of the moon, right? We're on Earth, the closest satellite to us, and it's a satellite. And the reason they call it a satellite, the moon is called a satellite, is because it's like a dish, right? That gives off a signal. Consciousness. I believe that consciousness is a signal that comes from that hexagon in Saturn that's spinning. It's churning a signal. It hits the moon. It's satellited, and it hits us. And we also reflect back, right? So if you're worried, tell God. Give your signal to the moon. The moon will transmit the signal. Pray. You'd be surprised of the effects of prayer, especially if you can get groups of people praying together. It's very powerful. Meditation even. Open up if you can. The current situation has the Knight of Cups. There's some kind of emotional situation. I saw the King of Cups on the bottom. It could be a water sign that you're dealing with, that you're worried about. But at the same time, this could be that you're trying to offer your love to someone, and it's upsetting you. Or someone is offering their love to you, and for some reason, you're just not interested. And it's got you kind of like uncomfortable or worried about it. It's something, there's confusion around it. It's crossed by money. It's crossed by, it could be a child. So if there's like some kind of situation that involves a child, an earth sign child with a water sign individual, it's got you worried and upset. But this looks like work. So this looks like money because you have the 10, like in the unconscious influence, is hard work. Taurus is all about work anyway, and then the 9 of rods is in the conscious. So you got the 9 and 10 of rods. So this is work, 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 work. So if you're worried about moving forward emotionally and being happy, so if there's like you're worrying a lot and you're trying to be happy, it's crossed by like having to work. Like maybe you're overworking yourself, or like you feel like you're being overworked. But it's saying give it to God. I'm all for that. Like I believe the what we hear in our head, consciousness, that is God. That is, like we have this idea of I, but realistically, the reason we have the idea of I is because God is also an I. God is one, right? Everything is one. So because it came from one, this aspect of an individual expression, like a supreme being was one, so that's why we also experience as one. Even though really, we're God experience. We're just an expression of God, so that is experiencing reality, right? But we have to see it as one because we have to be able to relate to everything around us. We have to have an ego because we wouldn't be able to relate to anything. We wouldn't be able to understand what I am in relation to this without an ego. It's just the way it works. So like we were designed that way. That's because God is also one. But yeah, give it to God. And that one signal, you can, we have the power to alter our signal. We have to acknowledge everything and work through it correctly. Know what we need to know and learn what we need to learn. But in reality, it can absolutely be done. You feel like you're in the dark right now, or you're in confusion. And it could have to do with this message. It could be a message about money. Like I said, it could be a child too, a message about a child. It could be both things. But most likely it's something with money. Especially with all this going on in Taurus right now, with all these planets in Taurus, it could definitely have something to do with money. Could just feel way overworked. Something you can't see though, and it could be that there's a message coming in that you can't quite see yet about money. Saying surrender to the divine though. Ask for what you need. Be surprised how God responds. This is you right now. Death. Now, death can make us worry and be very upset. It could have been someone that passed, actually physically passed, and this is what's got you very upset. If that's the case, I'm sorry. My heart goes out to you and them. But know that it's not the end, right? Consciousness is boundless. Our physical bodies have boundaries, and it's attached to this world, but consciousness isn't. So everything that they think they are, their memories and everything, it lives on. and it's reused. Everything is reused. Second law of thermodynamics. Energy can't be created or destroyed, only transferred to a different medium. Or it's some kind of major transformation that you're going through right now. And those can also be rough and make you worry. Some big changes happening in life. And for Taurus, that's never fun because you're a fixed sign. Fixed signs don't like change, especially Taurus. They like things to be a specific way. I set my life like this. I want it to go like this. As long as it's going like that, don't throw a monkey wrench in it. I want it to be this way. But this transformation is taking you from stormy waters to calm waters. So you are heading there. I don't think you can see it yet. I think you still might be in the worry aspect of it. But it's saying give it to God. If you give it to God, you're going to be just fine. Just know that you're going to be just fine. That all the trials that we pass through, all the tribulations, it's necessary for us to grow. It is. If we're not given conflict or giving, you're never going to realize the best of yourself if you're not put to the test. Once you're put to the test, you really can see what you're capable of and what you can do, and like how high you can go. It's important to have those types of things happen in life, even death. It's sad and it's brutal, but it teaches us a lot. It teaches a lot about life. It teaches a lot about ourselves, right? It teaches a lot about just how our feelings, our thoughts and our feelings, and how they work together. All these things. And if we really take the time to contemplate and work through them, we're always better on the other side. If we can just get there. If we can just get there, and we don't become overcome. Because as people, you can become overcome. It's true. That's why you got to be cognizant. You got to be alert. You got to be ever watchful. This is the advice. This is saying talk to God, because you have the power to create what you want, but you have to get the mechanism right. You have to get yourself in the right headspace. You have to get yourself feeling right. All these things have to be working together. You got to get the channel open so that you can work the right way, so you can start influencing reality instead of only letting it influence you, if that makes sense. The objective is to get to the point to where your mechanism is working so well, and I mean the human mechanism, that you're no longer just being influenced by outside stimulus. And outside stimulus is occurring all the time, regardless, and we can't control it. But where we do have control is our thoughts and feelings about it. And if you get to the point where you're so resolute and control's a rough word, but basically in control of the mechanism, like, or at least I wouldn't say in control, understanding it so well that it flows in such a way that you begin to influence the environment around you, and then that interacts, and then that's when you actually can start manifesting and creating what you want. That's what this is. Give it to God. God can help you get like this, to where you can create exactly what you want. Don't give up on anything that you've been trying to do. Whatever this hiccup in the road was, or whatever this crack in the road was that tried to stop you, the speed bump, just keep going. Don't let it stop you. The outcome is balance and patience. And this is I would say that this is one of the easiest things for Taurus. Or if it's something that, like, somebody was sick or hurt, or like that's what you're worried about, or somebody died, right? Or you're worried about somebody dying because maybe they're sick. This is healing as well. But this is also patience and balance. And like, they're balancing the cups. The cups are working together. One foot on land, one foot in the water, right? The sun in the background shining brightly. Also a solar disk on the head. It also can be an enlightenment card. Great guidance. This is also how you connect to God. This is a card that's like you have connection to God. I'd spend a lot of time in prayer right now. Really, like, start focusing on meditation and prayer. And if the outcome is patience and healing, then that's good, right? Tauruses are good at patience. I'm not. I'm heavy Sagittarius, so patience is not my jam. My wife is a Taurus. She is the more patient one. She balances that out in me, which is very good, because I need that in my life. I need the meticulous calm nature and patient nature, because I don't have it. I'm like, meow, fast as I can go. I'm missing all kind of details. Anyway, but the outcome is good, because this is divine outcome, divine guidance. So if you surrender to the divine, give it to God. Ask God to show you the solution, and don't expect the solution to be like this thing that just heals it all and makes it easy for you, because that's not necessarily how it works. Even if you are presented with the solution, it may come as conflict or something to be overcome. But then when you get to the other side of it, you'll see that it had to happen in this way for you to be able to heal or to grow out of it in that way. It's preparing you. And I believe that's what's happening here. Because you are going from, like I said, stormy waters to calm waters. And it looks like you're going to have balance and patience and healing on the other side of it. But don't give up on whatever you're creating, no matter what roadblocks you had. I know you may be feeling super overworked, but don't give up, because there's something that you can't see that's on the horizon. And it's divine in nature. Like it's like preordained type stuff, like fate. Like God is like, here, but you got to overcome this first. Okay, Taurus, that's all I have. Please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. It really will help the algorithm, especially comments. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just grateful that you're here. I'm just really trying to get these watch hours before July. Either way, I'm glad that you're here, and I hope to see you here again, Taurus. Happy new moon.